It's such a wild like turnaround considering like earlier this season you were like, yeah, Bouchard's a bum.
I
I
didn't say
know,
that. I called him a dork.
Stick talk. 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 Stick talk.
And hockey. Yes, sir.
Welcome back, everyone. This is episode 117 of Stick Talk Hockey. As always, I'm your host, Tico. This is my co-host.
I'm yours truly.
Over there, we got a producer.
Producer Jay.
It is Producer Jay's 80th episode with Stick Talk Hockey.
Mhm.
Woo.
Yeah, confetti sounds.
How you feel?
I'm feeling like a vet.
Yeah.
Not new to this anymore.
No, you're definitely like really a part of this whole thing now, you know?
Stamped.
Since you got your own microphone.
Really, a core part of the roster.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually like I didn't actually know last year that you couldn't hear me at all.
Oh,
Like,
really?
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. You're not a big like go back and listener of the show.
Mm. I mean, like only if I'm away,
Right.
and like obviously I didn't hear it.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
I
Fair
mean,
enough.
that's valid. I listened to the show like 3 times at least in the
Yeah.
week, and I don't blame you for not.
Yeah. Once I edit it and it's out in the ether, I'm like, I've heard us talk enough. You know? Well, this is it. This is the final episode of the 2024-2025 NHL season.
We made it.
We made it.
What a season.
I know. Just an unbelievable season. NHL was at the peak of its powers, I think, in terms of the on-ice products this year.
Absolutely.
A lot left to be desired from the league standpoint.
Oh, yeah, but we could scrutinize the league as itself. Like, I mean, we have made an entire show out of it.
Until the cows come home.
Absolutely. That's the moneymaker, baby.
That's the money maker.
We're so getting hit with a copyright violation the second that we get popping.
But you know what? The on-ice product was phenomenal this year. And now we get to go through free agency. This is what we do right at the end here. You know, free agency hits, pre-agency and free agency. Everything gets moved around, and then we get to take our break. Everyone takes a break. The players take a break, and start prepping our predictions for next year.
Absolutely. I mean, pre-agency is a little tough. Free agency too, especially with like the break in the summer. I
Yeah.
feel like that's like your parent telling you what you're getting for Christmas, but it's like November,
Right.
and you're like, okay.
Yeah. You know, I always wondered if they should do free agency like halfway through the summer kind of thing. Would keep it kind of interesting so that like, you know, hockey's not just like completely out of your brain for 2 months. You know what I mean? If you're thinking about retention, that would make sense to me.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even just like opening up the talk window for like a month in the summer. So
Right.
your agent can get busy while you go and take a break,
Sure.
and then you like reconvene in August and they're like, "Hey, here's what we got."
That would make sense because, like, you know, what is it basketball or baseball where they have the tampering window?
That sounds like a baseball thing for sure.
Yeah, it's literally called the tampering window because people used to tamper so much, and they were like, okay, we'll just make a window for it then where it's just fine. So if they had kind of that where it's like y'all can just talk through this time, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, we hear about, you know, tampering with the whole Marner situation.
Gavrikov.
He was at the All-Star game or Four Nations and, you know, being told how great it was in Vegas and how great it was to live there and stuff.
Looking
it's
up
like-
Vegas real estate, yeah.
It's like, yeah, I guess, but like, I don't know, players talk. Like, what are they going to talk about? Like, they have
Yeah.
real life shit going on. Like, I'm going to tell you about like the house I bought and the neighborhood I live in and like my favorite place to go down the street. Like, what? They're just going to talk about hockey when they're not playing hockey?
Yeah.
That's just weird. Like, you're going to like just like
Yeah.
like bar them from talking about anything that their personal life revolves around if it's
Right.
in the place they play in. That's crazy.
Yeah, these are people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're real people that have real lives. I'm gonna tell you about like, you know, the car I bought and the roads I like to drive on or whatever.
Sure.
Like, I don't know.
And like, isn't that what like if I don't know? Yeah, if you got traded right to Vegas or whatever, if I see you, the first thing I'm gonna say is it not gonna be, oh, how's Vegas?
Yeah, that's like
You
we
know?
all do it.
I don't know. Yeah. No, I'm with you. I think it's a little bit ridiculous the outrage about everything. But Leafs fans just love to be outraged about anything and everything.
Hey, you know what? They managed to fleece a player out of it. They didn't deserve it, but they got it.
They did get. We'll get to Marner. He's a little bit further down the list here. But I mean, honestly, should we just talk about Marner?
Let's just do it. We're already here.
We're already here. Yeah, I mean, they do get Nick Roy out of it, and look, Nick Roy is a player that would have nabbed an asset.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not nothing.
No, and no knock to Nick Roy. It's just like, you know, it's a great ad for Toronto, but it's not a Mitch Marner.
No, yeah.
Right?
I think it's hilarious, like, looking at, if you ever just look at any of the graphics about this trade, like, nothing says Mitch Marner's signing rights, so, like, it's just hilarious looking at, like, 1-for-1 Marner for Nick Roy. Like, that's awesome.
It made me cackle. I finally broke. I'm glad I knew the whole story, or I would have been floored by that.
Yeah, could you imagine some Leafs fan that hasn't heard this whole thing, doesn't understand what's going on, and just saw that and was like, what?
Like, all of the grade schoolers lost their freaking minds. They have no idea what's going
honestly. Actually, though, like, those Leafs fans, not the children, the ones that aren't tapped in enough, they'd probably be the ones that would be like, yeah, that's some grit.
Yeah.
Get that crybaby out of here, Nick Roy.
I saw Toronto media spinning it as like, everyone's talking about we can't replace a Marner. Maybe we don't need to. And it's like, no, you need to. I don't know if you've like smelled the coffee lately.
No, they haven't.
If you've taken a temp check around the league, but you kind of need a Marner.
Yeah, I mean, we've been over this. We've been over this, but like the Leafs, I just think it was clear. You can talk about their collapsing, you can talk about mental midgets, you can talk about all this stuff, but like as we got through, particularly games 5 and 7 against Florida, it was just so clear they were not good enough to beat that team.
100%. And the further that this goes with the media cycle as well, as they keep hammering down on the playoffs and how Marner fell apart in it, more stuff kept leaking about the Marner situation. And it all kept going back to Shanahan.
Yeah.
Ain't that something?
Not a coincidence.
And Marner said, pretty much verbatim, I'm willing to take the distance and try free agency.
Yeah.
He said that.
Right.
And he didn't take him seriously? Hubris.
I think that it's just a little bit of, we've talked about how loyal Shanahan is to these guys and how well he treated them, in all honesty, right? Like, and it was too much. And I just think he thought that loyalty was going to be blindly reciprocated. And like that shouldn't have been thought.
No, and I mean,
again, I think this is the problem with having a player's GM.
And I think it's great when you're rebuilding the team, and I think he did a great job. I think he's just that, though. He's just the rebuild GM.
Yes. Yeah, I agree with that.
And keeping him around to defend his pride and joy, it isn't going to work. You got to make some tough decisions. Look at Florida. Look at Vegas. Look at anyone who's done anything.
Yeah.
It's cutthroat.
It's cutthroat. Yeah, it has to be. So I mean, yeah, he gets the 8-year deal in Las Vegas, Nevada. Gonna be out there for 8 years, $12 million per year.
That man looks so happy.
He does look very happy.
He looks so thrilled to put on that jersey.
Did you see all that? Like, because they had the jersey with his number the next day.
Yep.
And people were like, tampering. It's like, come on. You think they can't get these out quick?
It's called phonetics. They're ironed on.
Yeah, for real, they are ironed on.
They literally just took the Leafs patch, changed the color, and moved it. Like,
oh god. Yeah. Vegas, I think, is in a little bit of trouble. We'll get to Pietrangelo later, obviously. We had some news around Alex Pietrangelo not going to be playing for a while. Nick Hague got traded out to Nashville for Jeremy Lauzon and Colton Sissons. But yeah, I don't know. Vegas, they're going to have a lot of offensive firepower. They really kind of needed a true like number one winger, I feel like.
Yeah, that's a team that's had a ton of center depth for a long time,
Yeah.
but no certified, like, just daggers. Just guys that call game.
Yeah, and like they kind of did in Marchessault, who they don't have anymore.
Yeah, and I mean, even he was still, like, a step below what you would expect from,
Yeah.
like, a game time dude.
Totally. And then, Mark Stone's health has been just so all over the place for so long. They got some help on the wings, sure, but like they get a dog in Marner.
No, absolutely. And
And
it's,
yes, Leafs fans are gonna hate it, but dog.
it's something that they so desperately needed. I
Yeah.
mean, and you could see it in their playoff performance this year.
Yeah.
They just didn't have quite enough.
100%. Jay, do you have a feeling about that? You think Vegas is gonna be a force next year? Or?
Yeah, I was saying to you, early prediction, they will be the President's Trophy team. That's what. And while we're on Vegas.
Yeah.
Should we just talk about Pietrangelo?
Yeah, we might as well while we're here. We might as well do all the big news first. Alex Pietrangelo puts out a statement this week, basically just saying that past few years have been very, very challenging on his physical well-being, and in a difficult position with overall playing health was part of the quote, and basically just said stepping away from the game for a while. Quote, after exploring options with doctors as well as my family, it's been advised to remove the intensity of hockey to see if my body can improve so that I can return to a normal quality of life. Yeah.
Ouch.
That you hate to hear that kind of stuff. Obviously, like you worry about like Vegas. If you're a fan, you worry about like Vegas on the ice and stuff. But like whenever you hear a player talking about like I got to get my quality of life up to a normal place, it's like, man, just do what's best for you.
Honestly, like it's like when Backstrom left. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
dude, like just leave.
Yeah.
Honestly, like take care of yourself. You
Totally.
have a family.
Hall of Fame career, I'd say.
It's funny because when they announced that he wasn't coming back for the next season,
Yeah.
I didn't believe it. I was like, yeah, whatever. Shut up. See you in May. Douchebag.
Yeah. You posted it.
I did. I posted it to our story. And then like 4 hours later, this broke, and I was like, oh, never mind.
Sorry, man.
Sorry, guys. Retraction.
I mean, that's tough. And you could see it, like, on the ice as well, right? Like, Pietrangelo hasn't really been himself.
Yeah. Like, I don't even, like, really want to say this, but I kind of do feel like it's, like, addition by subtraction.
Yeah.
I'm not.
That's the nicest thing you've said about Pietrangelo in months, Jonesy.
That's true. I'm not concerned about this loss for Vegas, though.
Yeah.
I think Vegas is going to be just head and shoulders above the rest next year.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think they're done either, for what it's worth. I think they'll still just keep moving, grinding, flipping. If there's a situation that calls for money and...
They're never done.
No.
And I mean, look at the pending UFA class for next year. I mean, this class was a dud compared to what's coming down the pipe next year. You got to assume the big dogs are going to resign, but like, if there's a, like, honestly, if things go south for the Oilers,
They're going to.
are you telling me that the Vegas Golden Knights aren't going to do literally everything they can to acquire Connor McDavid at the deadline?
I believe it entirely. But I think that the Carolina Hurricanes will do more.
I feel like they're just, I honestly, I just feel like they're the little brother. I really do. Like, even this, at the end of the day, like, the two big dogs were Marner and Ehlers, and clearly Marner was the biggest dog, and he ended up going to Vegas.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, that's tough.
and then the littler dog, still a dog, don't get me wrong, Nick Ehlers is awesome.
I love him. Great player.
But then they wait a couple days, and then they get Ehlers a couple days later. You know, like it just feels like they're always that team that's just like a little bit less ballsy than Vegas and Florida.
Yeah, they sniff around the perimeter a lot.
They're
And-
so close.
And then they don't do it. And I think that's really funny because
Rantanen,
the
yeah.
Rantanen deal.
Yep.
I didn't think they would do it. I didn't think they were going to be able to do it.
Yeah.
And then they did it, and I was like, holy shit, they did it.
Yeah.
Then they fucked that up too.
Yeah.
So, like, he didn't even want to
They
stay
did.
there. He was like, I'm leaving.
They really did. Yeah, they mangled that, unfortunately. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess we can just go to Nick Ehlers, Carolina. He gets 8 years there. What was it, $8.5 million? That's good work.
It's great work, honestly. And I mean, it's a fair contract.
Does that move you on Carolina?
Not
in the
really.
slightest.
Not really.
Not in the slightest from you, Jay.
Oh.
See, that's the problem, right? So for me, it does move the needle a little bit. Don't get me wrong. But, like, does Carolina need a Nick Ehlers or do they need a Mitch Marner?
Yeah, they needed a Mitch Marner. And, I mean, beyond that, they still have to sign Ross Levick. That's the type of player that, like, gave them their success last year, was just having a load of depth through the season, having these guys that were able to sprinkle 22 goals. Just
I know, but that's also their problem, is they only have guys like that.
yeah, it's a bar.
You know?
That's a bar.
So I don't know.
Unfortunately.
I mean, like, and Ehlers is one of those things where, like, you're really hooped if Winnipeg played him down the lineup for a reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, he's a guy where I think that you put him in top 6 minutes and top line minutes, you could, and he'd be great.
I absolutely agree. And we've had this conversation multiple times, and I believe we had the same conversation over Four Nations.
But we don't know it.
We don't know it. But I'd like to see it.
Yeah, I would too. Don't get me wrong. I'm a big Nick Ehlers guy.
To be honest, though, I thought he was going to do a bridge or something and, like, try and really get paid in, like, 2 years.
Yeah.
Like, give me my first line minutes.
Yeah.
Let me eat. And then I'll show you that I can make 11.
Right. It would have made sense for him, I think. But, I mean, that's just still, I mean, it's a massive contract.
Absolutely. And, I mean, tax-free state.
They
Gobble,
also did trade for, not a tax-free state. Carolina?
Is it not?
No.
I thought that, no?
Guaranteed.
Huh.
Only NHL markets that are tax-free are Florida, Nashville, Washington, Texas. Vegas. Sorry. Nevada.
Nevada.
Yeah.
Yes.
Carolina also receives Keandre Miller from the New York Rangers. Sending out
Puzzling.
Scott Morrow, a 2025 first and second, and they get Keandre Miller locked down for 8 years at $7.5 million.
That's so much
Oh.
money.
You know, we haven't gone through everything yet, but like, one of the most interesting things about this draft class, or sorry, free agency class to me, was that forward numbers didn't spike as much as I thought they would. Like, I honestly thought Marner was going to get more than 12, and I thought Ehlers might get more than 8. But defenseman numbers went crazy.
Yeah, and I think it speaks to just the need for experience
Yeah.
when it comes down the pipeline. I mean, like, you look at a guy like Dumoulin, and like, he didn't do great last year, but he was there when the Devils needed him, and somehow
Sure.
patched it through to the off season and did all right in the playoffs.
Right.
Apparently, that's good enough for a 3x4.
Yeah. Well, like, I'm looking like at that Marcus Pettersson contract that the Canucks signed in whatever that was, March, right?
5.5.
$5.5 million. Like, honestly, yeah, like, I don't know that I'd rather have Keandre Miller than Marcus Pettersson. In all seriousness.
Yeah, I'm not. I feel like Miller. We said this before. Like, Miller's probably gonna be a good Carolina
Yeah.
defenseman.
Yeah.
But I
It'll
don't-
work there.
But I'm not a believer though.
This is gonna sound like I might sound crazy here. This might be a hot take, but I've never been big on Keandre Miller.
Yeah, same.
Okay, yeah. So like,
Yeah.
he's never moved me. Like, he's just kind of existed in that like realm of like mid players that get mid contracts. I didn't really understand the 8x7 notion or the 8x7.5 even.
The only thing I will say from like a Carolina perspective is you kind of can't wait for Scott Morrow to grow.
I think
Like-
he's there though.
He really wasn't there in the playoffs though.
No, not at
Like
all.
he got
I mean, he didn't even get a full season under his belt. That's hardly fair.
Now, like, I'm not saying I agree, but what I am saying is just like they gotta win now.
Yeah.
Like, you can't wait for Scott Morrow to be like playoff ready, whatever, 2 years from now.
Cause like, and it probably will be, right? Like at least, I mean, getting that real playoff dog in you, it takes some time.
Yeah, it takes a hot minute. I mean, it takes a while just to get your footing in the league. So, I mean, I when you put it like that, it does make a lot more sense. Like, yeah, totally. They need a win now formula. I don't think Keandre Miller's the win now formula that you need, but
Yeah.
pop off. I hate the price that they paid for it, and then I hate the price tag they attached to it. So, like,
Yeah.
Scott Morrow's a great defenseman. I'm pretty sure he had like 6 points in 10 or 11 games played, and like his season this year
Yeah,
for
like,
Carolina.
I'm higher on Scott Morrow than Keandre Miller
Mm,
as like a who
Overall.
would I want in like 2 years.
Yeah.
sure.
So like I'm just saying like this perspective from Carolina, but no, they wilding for this.
See, I really just like with Carolina, it just seems like I said they're like the little dog, but it's like they want to be big game hunting, but they're just never big enough game hunting.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. I mean, being safe in this league just doesn't cut it. And I'm not sure if it's just like bad scouting internally across the league
Maybe.
or if it's bad GM appraisal. Like,
Yeah.
I know that like they've been on like the league's been on record and the player polls have been on record as saying Carolina has the cheapest GM.
Sure.
They just hate to spend money. But this doesn't scream I hate to spend money. This just
No.
screams like I don't know what I'm doing.
And like I will say, like Jonesy, you mentioned it, but like I do very much think like Keandre Miller's like also kind of the kind of defenseman that shows up in Carolina and plays way above his weight class.
Mm-hmm.
They have what he needs to succeed.
Yeah.
Because he is a very skilled puck moving defenseman. He's actually really great at generating a rush, but
Right.
But
I don't
like,
know.
yeah, like they're gonna lose to Florida the exact same way.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like-
100%. That's just it, right? Like it's not big enough game hunting. Bringing in Keandre Miller and Nick Ehlers doesn't make you better than Florida. And
Now when they brought in Marchand,
yeah,
now when they,
and
made
Seth Jones.
any of the moves that they've made in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
I mean, you could stack these against any of them, and they're not that good. You could stack
Like,
the
we are-
Forsling contract
Yeah.
re-sign against these, and it still looks better.
And I mean, look what they just did. They just did it again, Florida. They just went out and got an aging veteran defenseman whose ass, right? Jeff Petrie blows. And you know what? He's gonna work perfectly. It's just what happens in Florida. It's what happened with Oliver Ekman-Larsson. It's what happened with Nate Schmidt. They're gonna insulate him perfectly, and it's just gonna work.
Paul Maurice.
Yeah, the
That's all I
Paul
gotta
Maurice
say.
way. Yeah.
Yeah, Paul Maurice. He just fixes everything.
I guess we can talk about Florida a little bit. Yeah, Ekblad and Marchand get the extensions.
Yeah. Hey, wow. What a take.
Yeah,
That panned out great for me.
that did. First of all, I think it panned out perfectly for me. By the way, that was my take, but that's okay.
Was it?
I have the we can go back and look at the transcripts. I said Ekblad was going to come in way under market, and y'all were going to start screaming state tax.
State tax.
Yeah, exactly.
I am screaming it.
And that's what I know. That's what you said in the moment too.
My numbers were actually like eerily close when I predicted this in the group chat though with Chris.
Yeah.
We have a separate little group chat over there, but yeah, I was kind of like being a little ludicrous with those numbers too. Like I was like, best case scenario, and I was still I overshot.
Yeah, I mean they made it work perfectly. I mean, I didn't expect them to give Marchand 6 years, right? That's the thing. They basically gave him that 8x4, but just extended out to 6 years, giving him the 6 years at 5.25. That's a lot of term to give to a 37-year-old, but who cares?
I mean, that buyout's gonna look like ass if something happens.
Well, like, I don't know. Like, with the cap going up, they're probably thinking we might not even have to buy it out. Who cares?
Yeah. I mean, I forget who it was, but I saw it was circulating. It was a quote basically saying that they hired a $5 million skills coach.
Yeah. Which honestly might be worth it to them. The amount of money that the organization's made over the last 3 years going to the finals. Fuck it.
I mean, I just saw the skills he had in the finals, and you know what? Copy paste onto everyone on the roster.
Yeah.
Do it.
And then Ekblad gets the 8x6.1, was it? Yeah. And honestly, I didn't think that was like an insane underpayment. Like, I don't think that's an insane discount perfectly for a guy who hasn't played a full season in like 7 years, barely scraped together 30 points this year, and had a doping scandal.
Yeah, no, I
No.
entirely agree. I thought in free agency, like at best, he was going to be scraping like 7.75. So it seems like a fair underpay.
Like, these damn Leafs fans that are out here like, see, why couldn't we get more shots, state tax, but the... Y'all got the biggest discount I've seen all of free agency with John Tavares.
Real. That's so real.
What? Stop talking.
And like honestly, I feel like last year there was a lot more contracts that had me like upset. Like I was looking
Yeah.
at the numbers and being like, where do you justify this and how?
Yeah.
This year I'm kind of looking through this whole list. And I'm like, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair. The only one that jumps out to me is being like, what the is Michael Granlund at 3x7?
$7 million. I mean, that was just, that was a case of the market really working out in Granlund's favor, right? When basically most of the centers re-signed in this kind of pre-agency period, and then you get to the table and Dvorak is pretty much the first big signing of free agency and gets 5.4. Holy guacamole in Philly. It was just like, there's no centers. This guy's got 5. I'm the only one left. Pay me.
Yeah. Guess what? The price just went up.
And it worked. I mean, good for him.
Yeah, it's good work. It's clean work by the agent. Supply and demand. He clearly understood the way that things were working.
Yeah.
I mean,
100%.
the only other contract that like you could even really squint at is maybe the Evan Bouchard contract. We did go over Edmonton already a little bit, but like even that
yeah.
And I know you don't like Bouchard. I
No,
know
no,
you don't, but like
Listen, I have 0 qualms with 4x10.5.
okay.
Yeah.
Wild. I've been
Yeah.
arguing with people about this
I know.
since it happened.
I know. It's been the whole thing all week. And Jay, you were the one that started this.
Yeah, I've like turned into a Bouchard defender.
It's crazy.
It's such a wild like turnaround considering like earlier this season you were like, yeah, Bouchard's a bum.
I didn't
know,
say that. I called him a dork.
Sure.
I didn't call him
Yeah.
a bum, but I don't like people whiling. Like I'm just reinstating what I've already said before.
Mhm.
But like everyone's up in arms over Bouchard here.
Yeah.
10.5.
Yeah.
And then Noah Dobson gets 9.5, and it's like, wow, that's fucking good work, Montreal.
Yeah, nobody batted an eye at that.
Noah Dobson isn't even close to Bouchard.
To Bouchard, not even close.
No.
Agreed. And it was really like you would kind of sent something off to me, and then I started kind of digging through some of those money puck stats and natural stat trick and all that. And I was looking at it, and I was like, there's no category where over the past 3 seasons Evan Bouchard isn't like in the top 5.
Yeah, he's playing great.
Like he's clearly not the Makar or Quinn Hughes,
He's clumsy and accident prone, definitely.
but like he's clearly that second tier of defenseman. And like in a different cap era, right? Like in a new cap era where Noah Dobson gets 9.5, where who Gavrikov got what? 7. Provorov got 8, right? 8.5.
Yeah,
Like
woof.
yeah, woof. the number one tier of defensemen, Makar, Hughes, probably Werenski, are probably going to get 12, 14.
14 for sure.
So then Evan Bouchard getting 10 makes perfect sense, does it not?
Yeah, absolutely. It absolutely does. And I mean, like, I've been seeing a lot of like the talk about the Hughes contract. Thank you for bringing it up, because
Yeah.
everyone's like, oh, like, how are you going to justify that when you pay Hughes this much? And it's like, yeah, you morons.
I know.
It was
Completely different cap environment.
Yeah, it was a different cap environment. It was what, 5, 6 years ago now? 5 years ago. And on top of that, it was a qualifying contract.
Yeah, it was a bridge second contract.
He was still RFA.
Yeah.
Like,
It was a max. It wasn't a max term contract coming off of an ELC. Like, sorry, it's not the same.
yeah, we're not talking about the same thing here either
No.
way. And like, yeah, a 4x10 is super fair, especially when you consider that McDavid might not even stick around for another 4.
Yeah.
If he's leaving, I'm not sticking around. I'm leaving too.
Totally. I thought it was very reasonable as well. And Jay, you made a good point too about how like Evan Bouchard's mistakes seem so much more magnified because we've all watched so much Evan Bouchard hockey.
Yeah.
Right? Like yeah.
Nobody watches the American teams until the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like, and that's just talking on like, unless you have Sportsnet
Right.
Plus.
Yeah.
Which like your average Canadian fan really doesn't.
No.
And then also like, just from like a real puck standpoint, like Evan Bouchard has one of the highest possession times in the league.
Yeah.
Like he's obviously going to make more mistakes.
Yeah. I mean, who is he playing beside all year? In the
Like
last 2 years.
Ekholm, but then Ekholm got hurt, so he was playing next to Brett Kulak.
Yeah.
Okay, see, there's the issue already. Like, the other thing is we're watching, way too much Bouchard hockey, but we're also watching a lot of Bouchard hockey that's not insulated at all.
Yeah.
A lot of guys, when they make mistakes, their partner's there to break up the play with a stick, and you never talk about it again.
Yeah,
'Cause it
Brett
didn't
Kulak is definitely not Devontae's, nor is he even Phil Hronik.
Yeah, it's easy to remember things when they end up in a highlight reel, and you're like, oh, yeah, that was the turnover that turned into a goal.
Yeah,
But,
totally.
like-
Especially when they're big goals in the third round and in the finals, right? Like that's the thing is like, Noah Dobson hasn't been involved in a big play in years. Like just simple as that, you know? Like an important play to the game of hockey.
Wow.
And that sounds so disrespectful. But like the Islanders don't do anything. Nobody watches. There's no reason to for a casual fan to go watch a New York Islanders game.
And you know, like Noah Dobson fucks up, and he's got Sorokin back there
Right.
bailing him out.
Right.
Half the time.
Yeah.
Bouchard messes up, and you got Stuart Skinner.
Hey, it could be Calvin Pickard.
Could be a $5 million can of soup.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. I am sort of turning into a Bouchard defender a little bit as well. I was really a Bouchard hater when it was Quinn Hughes comps. Like, let's be very clear. Evan Bouchard's name belongs nowhere near Quinn Hughes's.
No, but he's definitely a B-tier defenseman. I mean,
Yeah. But like, I do think he's like, it's almost flip-flopped now where he's almost underrated.
I think he's definitely underrated
Yeah.
because I hear way too many people telling me that Dougie Hamilton's a top-tier defenseman. Shut the hell up. No, he's not.
Well, and I feel like people...
watched
yeah.
enough Dougie Hamilton to know
Yeah.
that he is way below Bouchard in this conversation.
And I feel like people are like, oh, that's the new Nurse contract. And it's like, I don't think so.
What do you mean?
Hell no.
Yeah, like, no.
And the scrutiny of like, oh, you're paying 40 mil for your core 4 and, you have 20 mil tied up in defensemen. It's like, yeah. But
Yeah.
like, one, that's how this kind of works. Look around the league.
Sure.
And two, that doesn't really reflect poorly on the Bouchard contract. It just really speaks to how shitty the Nurse one was.
Yes, agreed. Speaking of Quinn Hughes, can we get to Vancouver for a sec?
Yeah, interesting news out of
Mhm.
Vancouver.
So I'd actually like to... Well, let's start with the contracts. So yeah, I guess before free agency actually opens, Canucks get their extensions done for Connor Garland and Thatcher Demko. Connor Garland one, that's just good, clean work, in my opinion. He gets like the most basic of raises possible. He was on a 5x5, now he gets a 6x6. Great player, great contract. I have no problem with that.
I love it.
Thatcher Demko gets the extension. This one's a unique one. 3 years, $8.5 million. You very rarely see 29-year-old goalies get only 3-year deals, right?
Yeah.
Usually you're looking to cash in right about then. But obviously, it's such a unique situation, right? Like, hasn't played a full healthy season in a couple years now. Had a super unique injury, and like was third in Vezina voting the year that he got that injury. So yeah, incredibly unique situation, and I think they just kind of made it work best for everyone, where like he gets paid like a goalie that got Vezina nominations, but only for 3 years. And by all accounts, it seems like he's healthy, and that's great.
Yeah, I think it's clean work, and it's a good bit of protection for both parties involved, honestly. I mean, if you're the Canucks, the last thing you want to have happen is a New York Islanders situation where you're paying your goalie for like where'd they pay DiPietro? He's still on their books, right?
yeah, with the buyout. Yeah, they gave him like a 17-year deal or something.
Yeah, like
a Kovalchuk type deal.
Yeah, it was nasty. It wasn't like 17, but like it's extended to like
Yeah.
24 with buyouts and some shit. Like it's just nasty. They're still on the hook for it.
Yeah.
You don't want to be involved with that in the slightest, especially when you're still in a pseudo bubble.
Yeah.
Where you might be able to push the playoffs. You still got Quinn Hughes around. Like, it's just a safe move. I really enjoy it.
I think so too. And then you get the duo with Lankinen. I think they're gonna have that. If Demko actually is healthy, which it's not like just team reporting, like actual reporting that I'm hearing is that he's not rehabbing, he's training, which is great to hear. And he finished the season healthy. He's been healthy. If he comes into next season fully healthy and he can get a split of starts with Lankinen, I think that's going to be a real strength for the Canucks.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I think it's really nice with the talent that you have in your system, being able to take another look in 3 years and go, okay, do we believe in this guy?
Sure.
Is he the next step?
Yeah.
Or do we need to keep with where we're at?
Right.
Much like what the Devils did.
Totally.
And we'll go and visit them very
We will.
briefly. But
yeah, and then you get to free agency and the door that seemed to be closed fully. Out of nowhere, Brock Boeser re-signs with the Canucks.
from the top rope.
From the top ropes, and it comes in below market value. Dollywall reporting that at least 6 teams had offers higher than what Vancouver offered for Brock Boeser.
But he wanted term, is the thing.
He wanted term.
He wanted the extra year. He wanted the 7.
Yeah.
And a lot of teams were only offering him 4 to 6.
Yeah.
And he was like, no.
And that's where Vancouver bent too, because that was the reported deal before, was that they had offered him 5 years at 8 around the deadline, and he turned that down. So they bent on the term. Boeser bent on the AAV, and from what it sounds like, it just came down to, as free agency opened, I mean, the Canucks had a couple options fall through, including Christian Dvorak they were waiting on before Brock Boeser, which is really
A decision.
quite a way to team build. But
Choice.
But they made one more offer, and Boeser told his agent, look, get it done. I want to stay in Vancouver. And what I want to say about this, because first of all, great.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I didn't think I'd be as happy about this as I was, but like, he's going to finish very high in Vancouver Canucks totals. Like, he's already been there a long time.
Mhm.
Like, he's going to finish as like a top 5 Canuck all time in games played and goals and points and all that stuff, probably.
Yeah, likely.
I love the player. 7.25 from a guy who was making 6.8, I think, on his last contract. That's almost nothing.
No, it's great, especially with the cap going up. Like, that gives you a ton of room. You're actually, like, I know you don't have a ton of room right now, but like in future context, when you make some cap moves and work
Yeah.
out some seams, it's going to be a really, really great deal for you.
Yeah, I'm very happy about it. Love Brock Besser. Have a Brock Besser jersey. But the thing that I think here is very, very important. Right after Brock Besser signs, Thatcher Demko posts on his story. I don't know if you saw this on Instagram. Posted the picture of the Canucks post re-signing Brock Besser and said, "Thank you, baby Jesus." That's what he said. So, in this whole Operation Keep Quinn Hughes thing that's happening in Vancouver right now, I think if Quinn Hughes were to resign, I'll be looking back at this and going, they, as the moment they could, extended all three of those American players that are all Quinn's best buddies.
Yeah, you know what?
And all of them noted doing it because they love the city and want to be there.
That's the type of thing that would make me sign like a 12x3, 12x4.
It's the kind of thing where, like, it doesn't mean anything right now, right?
No.
It means absolutely nothing. But, like, if Quinn Hughes were to re-sign in Vancouver, I'll be looking at this and going, that meant a lot.
Definitely.
You
I
know?
mean, it could be the start of dominoes falling in a big way.
For sure.
I'd be bummed the hell out. But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah. Speaking of long contracts, though, should we get to Jake Allen getting 5 years in New Jersey?
Yeah.
Holy guacamole.
I don't hate it. I'm not going to front. Like, I
How
know
old's
it's...
Jake Allen? Is he 35? Yeah.
Like,
boy.
I know it's a long time, but I don't know. Like, Bobrovsky's like, what, 37?
Yeah.
38, and he's getting 10 mil? And, like, this guy literally kept the wheels on the season. Like,
It's true.
Markstrom went down with a huge head injury. He's done for 25 games. And Allen comes in looking like a starting goalie that's never missed a step.
Yeah.
He was flawless. He was a brick wall. The team loves him. The locker room loves him. He's been a great mentor to all the young guys.
Yeah.
He's been around the league. He's seen it time in and time out with rebuilds and success stories. And
Yeah.
he's been through
Sure.
the ringer. Like,
Yeah.
and the reality of it is that, like, this market was pretty juicy for some positions, but he was the best available goalie by far.
Yeah.
And that's a problem because if you're the Devils right now, you either have to roll out Nico Dawes or find another option.
Right.
And then you're looking at trading, you're looking at assets. You've spent a lot of those just to bring in these two.
Yep. 100%.
So it just makes sense to extend him out, take care of him.
And it is like it's under $2 million, right? Like it's
Basically
the price of 2 ELCs. Like
exactly. And I mean, like, even if he's 39, what? Just like march him out there for 20 games. Who
Sure.
cares?
Yeah.
Just put him against the weakest opponents. It's fine.
Yeah. I think that's very fair.
Yeah, and I think that, like, his reputation precedes him. Like,
Yeah.
not enough people got familiar with Jake Allen hockey last season. And
Right.
that's fair. The Devils were in a huge slide. And they're an unnotable team,
What a
just
shame.
in general.
What a shame.
But he played great. Like,
Yeah.
like great. I was so thankful to have Jake Allen.
I mean, you're gonna have a veteran duo back there, and to me, like Jake Allen and Jacob Markstrom is such a just like set it and forget it
Exactly.
starter backup role.
It's,
you know,
It's the place in Devils hockey I have zero concern and, like, will lose no sleep over.
yeah,
There's lots of other places I could address right now and go, that needs work.
yeah,
That's a hole.
Yeah.
That needs to be fixed. But,
Yeah.
like, forget it. Like,
Yeah.
and then you have Dawes as the third string in case either one of those guys go down. Yeah, that's
Mhm.
fine. That's
Mhm.
great. That's perfect.
I agree with that. Can we talk about what the Los Angeles Kings did?
Yeah.
I mean,
A Ken Holland special.
free agency opened, and when they signed Corey Perry, I was like, I like it.
Let him cook.
I like it.
Yeah, let him cook.
And then they did two very interesting things. They signed Cody Ceci to a 4-year, $4.5 million per year contract.
Man, if I was Corey Perry, I'd be pissed.
No doubt. And then they also signed Brian Dumoulin to $4 million over 3 years. Or every year for 3 years.
Dooms.
Oh, baby.
Doomsday's struck in LA.
Ken Holland is an actual terrorist. Like, this guy, how does he still have a job in the NHL?
Bro's committing financial terrorism.
That's insanity. I'm greatly concerned about the Los Angeles Kings.
It reminds me of Live Free Die Hard when the hacker like tanks the whole economy.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they also get Andrei Kuzmenko done, $4.3 million for a year. Cool. I really like the fit of Kuzmenko in LA. I thought that worked really well.
Yeah.
So I do like that conceptually, but those two defensive contracts really sent me over the edge.
I don't get it. I don't get the Cody Ceci thing, and like I'd be choked if I was Perry and I was the first one to sign in. Be like, yo, I don't need that much money. I just want to win. I want to win one more time before I go. Let's make something happen. And you sign on, and you're like, yeah, okay, I cut you a deal, so we could bring in more players like Gavrikov. Let's do that. Because we need someone like that. We need a shutdown center to really help me out, so we can win.
Gavrikov's a defenseman, but yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
We need that solid shutdown piece.
Sure.
And then you do this?
Yeah.
You bring in Cody Ceci. Why?
And it's really funny because like the Rangers really got Gavrikov for less than LA spent on Perry and Ceci. Or on Ceci and Dumoulin.
Oh my God, you're right.
Yeah.
Oh, what the?
Yeah, they might be cooked.
Oh,
It's really, really a
that
tough
didn't even
scene.
occur to me.
Yeah.
No, bruh. Clean work, attaboy Ken. That's my dog right there.
Jay, like, did that hurt you the way that hurt me?
It's just ridiculous. And I just want to bring this up real quick. How you
Yeah.
feeling about your McDavid to LA take?
Yeah, it's over.
Zero respect for that franchise.
Zero respect for that franchise. 100% agree.
Cooked.
Yeah, no,
So
that's out
cooked.
the window. I'm all aboard the Carolina take.
He ain't go to no Carolina, dude.
While we're bringing up McDavid, and Corey Perry, can we double back to the Oilers?
Yeah.
Waiting to see if Carter Hart's guilty or not to offer him a contract. Like, what is wrong with you?
It's actually just so hilariously predictable. Like Stan Bowman just waiting at Carter Hart's window.
It's
Hey,
outside
buddy.
of the courthouse with a contract in hand.
Hey, buddy, we're ready for you.
He's throwing rocks at the courtroom window. Let him out.
Let him out.
He's innocent.
Free Denny. God damn it. Yeah, no, it's
Like, what the hell, man?
it's really like, remember when they had White Boy Summer?
Yeah.
Like, it's really abuser summer.
Oh,
Like-
God.
Like, we got Diddy free. Stan Bowman on the loose. Just ready to give Carter Hart a contract. These goddamn Oilers.
Yeah. I just wanted to bring that up. Because, like,
I'm glad
what
you
the
did.
what the
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you all know my thoughts on that. I'm not gonna say it again.
No, we don't have to go there. But yeah, you're right, Jay. The LA Kings are deeply unserious. And
No more playoff hockey in LA.
Please, baby, no more playoff hockey in LA. Please, baby, no more playoff hockey in LA.
Type
I'm
shit.
really excited to predict the Pacific Division next year.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna give everyone 68 points.
No, that's just Jackson with the Ducks.
Whack.
Whack. Honestly, I think that's kind of it for the ones I wanted to go through. I don't know if there's anything else on this list that you thought was super notable.
I personally am kind of shocked to see that Pius Suter only got a 2x4.
I'm a little shocked by that too. I think it's great for St. Louis because who did they trade out? Bolduc?
Yeah.
Yeah, for
That-
Yeah.
I wasn't even gonna bring it up,
Mm.
but I was looking at the Blues lines literally just yesterday.
Yeah.
And I was like, they got Zach Bolduc. Like, I didn't know that happened.
Yeah.
Absolute crickets.
What's
Apparently.
crazy is that he's projected to be on their fourth line.
No, they traded Bolduc out. Did they not?
Yeah, the Blues traded Bolduc. He's on the Habs. He's projected to be on the Habs fourth
For
line.
Mayu or however you pronounce his name.
Malu, yeah.
Malu, yeah.
Defenseman. Logan, whatever.
So I mean, really, if you're a St. Louis Blues team that's like looking to like just be a playoff team next year, I really do think that like Pius Suter's a good like third line center
Hell yeah.
replacement.
I'm just surprised the team didn't throw more.
Yeah, I am as well. In a world where Christian Dvorak got 5.4, I think really though Pius Suter's profile just looks way worse than it is. Like he's small and he's not fast at all. He's actually one of the slowest skaters in the league. But like, and then a team gets him and they're like, "Wow, this guy rocks." You know what I mean?
Just mad dependable.
Yeah, and you can literally put him anywhere. Pius Suter was the Vancouver Canucks #1 center for multiple games this year once Pettersson and Hedel went down. And did great. He had 46 points this year.
Yeah, it's nothing to scoff at. I mean, you know what? This might be one of those deals where it's like we scratch our heads now, but then like he comes back to the table at the end of next year and they get something done early and it's like a friggin' 7x7 or whatever, and you're like, okay, there it is.
Right, because he won't be that old by then still too, right? Like he'll be 31. So like not young, but not like not old for free agency by any means, right?
No, certainly not. And especially with like, centers always being in demand, it feels like he could definitely get more.
Suter is definitely, in my eyes, like he doesn't have the stats, like the height, the weight, the speed. But like he's definitely better than Christian Dvorak, in my eyes.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he'll make Michael Granlund money soon.
Yeah. And honestly, in a Jim Montgomery coached environment on that St. Louis Blues team, like I really think that's going to be a very good fit in St. Louis.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I really don't like them losing Bolduc, though. I really, really like that player. And I think that he is going to get so covered up in Montreal.
I don't know. I like it for the Habs.
I like it for the Habs, too. I don't like it for him.
Sure.
Like, I just think that, like, he had such a clear window and path in St. Louis.
Right.
And
Might
there's
not
just
have that same path.
No, I mean, the Habs are very akin to, like, the conversation we had about the Ducks last week, where they are just, like, super, super loaded with talent.
Just waiting for someone to grab a role rather than going, here's your role, get after it.
Yeah, exactly. And,
Yeah.
You have all these guys that could be amazing, but maybe they won't be. And now you're just adding another one in there.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
The guy had like 40 points as a rookie.
Yeah. Yeah. No, he's great. He's sick.
One thing
Mhm.
is this is the last episode of the season.
That's correct.
I don't even know if the listeners knew that until now. But Marco Rossi still not done.
Yes, still no decision on Marco Rossi from either side, it sounds like.
He's an RFA, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think offer sheets are very possible. In fact, likely. Because, yeah, I mean, the reporting that I'm hearing from Russo, which I always find it funny, Russo, one of the most credible reporters on the Minnesota Wild. It's always just Russo on Rossi. I think that's funny. But he's reporting that team and player are still nowhere close. And so, look, the Canucks, they got Brock Besser, and if they can find a way to get Marco Rossi as well and move some money out, Dakota Joshua going out to Minnesota.
Yeah, I've heard the boy Dollywall saying that the Canucks have soured
on Dakota Joshua.
Yeah.
Exactly. Why? I'm not entirely sure.
Weird.
But he just seems like the kind of guy Bill Guerin would love because he's just big and he's got nice hands and close.
Yep.
and that's some money out that the Canucks could then work with to get Rossi in. I'm really hoping that happens.
Yeah, I could see it. I'm really looking forward to this offseason. Did we ever talk about Gibson, like moving? Did we talk about that last week or
I
not?
don't think so. I
Yeah,
forgot about that. Yeah.
yeah. Gibson finally gets yeeted out of the Ducks after like being dangled on a string for 5 years straight.
Goes to the Red Wings. Clean
Yeah.
work for the Red Wings. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, another goalie goes to die.
I don't know. I think that's clean work for them. And then they get Patrick Kane done too. They move out Tarasenko. I don't hate their offseason so far.
Yeah, I don't either. But you know what? Tarasenko's gonna get moved for a second at the deadline.
Oh,
That-
Jackson
you
will
watch.
cry.
You watch.
I was just telling Jackson the other day. Jackson was like, I'm just glad we didn't have to pay to move off Vladimir Tarasenko. It's like, you don't have to pay to move off anyone anymore.
People need people.
We're out of the hard cap or the flat cap era. You don't have to pay to get off contracts. People need players.
And they're willing to pay the money because they have cap.
And yeah, like teams legitimately couldn't spend their cap this year.
Yeah.
Like the league used to be whoever had the cap space to get a guy was going to get them. And now it's like
Everyone could.
Anaheim gave Michael Granlund $7 million and they're still miles from the floor.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, it's going to be really good for him when, like, the next couple rounds come up. Plus, I mean, like, you got McTavo. He's an RFA next year.
Yep.
Or is he a UFA? Does he come off RFA? No,
No,
he's still RFA.
He'll still be
yeah,
RFA.
yeah. He's finishing his ELC. Yeah, I
I
mean,
mean,
like,
yeah, they're going to need to, they're going to fill that cap space eventually. But, like,
honestly, pretty quickly, too.
they got to hit the floor this year, though. How are you going to do it, right? We're game's changing, y'all. I'm telling you, game's changing. Players are going to go where they want to go because every team can make it work.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and you're going to see a lot of teams moving on from players that you're kind of shocked about, too, because there's just going to be a surplus of players willing to move.
Like, I think about, did you hear about, actually, forget that. I think about, like, Johnny Gaudreau.
Yes.
Came
R.I.P.
down to the wire. Rest in peace, Johnny Gaudreau. Came down to the wire right at the end. He told the Calgary Flames, I'm not signing here, right? I want to move home. He reached out, his agent reached out to the Philadelphia Flyers and said, we want to come there. And they said, we can't make it work. Sorry. Right?
Yep.
And so they went, okay, well, Columbus, they have the money for us and they're kind of close. Right? That will never happen again.
No.
We're done with that.
I mean, unless, like, let's never say never. Gary Bettman's a bit of a douche. So, like, I could see him just, like, getting a little bit out there and then being like, no, it's not working. Black cap.
Sure.
Investors need more money.
Assuming the concrete projections that we've heard stand, assuming that nothing drastic changes, if this new environment is actually here, that world is gone.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really love the Tarasenko move, to be honest, because I don't think that you're any better or worse with or without him, and you could just trade him later, or trade him for something. Trade him for a 7th.
Yeah.
What the is future
know, just something.
considerations? Like,
I
Why
really
do you-
want to get a jersey with
why-
the name Future Considerations on the back.
yeah, that'd be a fire Detroit jersey.
Yeah, that'd be gas.
Yeah, get it autographed by Stevie Y.
Yeah.
That'd be the best.
All right, y'all. What a season.
What a season! Goddamn, we're done. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do with your free time?
I just got a smoker and a Blackstone grill. So it's summer now, so I'm gonna be learning how to smoke some meats and cheeses. Grilling up some stuff on the Blackstone as well. We should definitely have a couple barbecues over the summer.
Hell
Okay.
yeah!
Yeah.
Couple steaks.
And then golfing, and then sinking my teeth into my new love here, which is baseball.
Oh, okay.
Hmm
Picking it up.
Yeah, I'm. It's really working for me right now.
Interesting.
How about yourself?
Baseball still doesn't do it for me. I've tried recently. It
One
just
day.
doesn't hit.
It'll connect.
Yeah, I don't know. Just like getting my life together.
Yeah.
Just like straightening some stuff
Facts.
out.
Fair
Like,
enough.
I was so busy this year between like this and then the Royals and then like work and everything else in between. And then like not to mention like transitioning and everything else that
course.
comes with that.
Of course.
It's like I'm just gonna need 2 months to like get everything in line again.
Yeah. It's a good reset.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And have some time to like really just like be more whimsical.
Yeah,
Take some time to
factual.
myself, like not always have to be on like this rampant schedule and like be such a pain in the ass to my friends. I'll probably see my friends is what I'll do.
That's great.
Like we're gonna have
That's a-
barbecues and like I
that's
won't have to
good.
be like, oh yeah, like after this or that or I can't.
Yeah.
There's a home game that day or like
Yeah.
So yeah, that'll be
nice.
really nice. And I have a lot of people reaching out to me, and I'm always like, oh yeah, well like the podcast day is not certain yet. Depends on what games are happening at what time.
Yeah.
I'll let you know.
Yeah.
And then other life happens, and before I know it, the weekend's gone. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, sorry.
That'll be good then.
Yeah.
Jay, you got anything going on?
Nah.
My man.
My dog.
I might just start doing some random shit on my Friday nights though.
Yeah.
Like what?
Who knows?
Got any hobbies you've been looking to pursue? Anything new you're trying to like expand?
I mean, not really. Like something I've been doing. Like I'm not gonna do more of this because the pod's over. But something
Yeah.
I've been doing. I've just been eating like the most random fruits lately.
Big fruits guy?
Yeah, like I just like.
What you mean by random fruits?
I guess they're not that random, but like, I've never just bought a pineapple before.
Oh yeah,
Did
dude.
that the other day.
Pineapple's one of my favorite fruits.
What is that?
Gas.
What does that have to do with like the pod like happening or not happening though?
I said it
Nothing.
didn't.
Nothing.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I thought you said like this strictly has to do with the pod being over, and I was like, what does buying a pineapple have to do with the what?
Oh, that's funny.
Nah, new hobby, exotic fruits.
If you want to learn how to smoke some meats, I'm always here.
Gonna have to talk to our local Edmonton fan, Justin.
Yeah, I would like to get some tips from our local Oilers fan, Justin.
Smoke
he's the
some
one-
fruits.
He's the one that broke the Carter Hart news to me.
Actually,
That's crazy.
he smokes our ribs at our workplace.
Oh, okay. Hell yeah. Y'all got
Yeah.
smoked ribs?
Yeah, oh yeah, smoked in house. They're
I
delicious.
swear to God, it makes them worse though.
Oh.
You think so?
Yeah, no, they used to be so much better.
Before we started smoking them,
Yes.
I think that's cap.
God, they suck now.
I think that's such cap.
Jump.
I'm so like, I've been so unimpressed for like a year now.
Wow.
Jonesy, big propane guy. Clean, efficient fuel.
Yeah, tell him.
All
I'm
right,
like,
so-
man, we gonna get out of here.
It's late. We're referencing King of the Hill. It's
Yeah.
midnight.
The Smoked Meats podcast coming soon. As always, I'm your host, Tico. This is my co-host.
I'm yours, Trilly.
That's our producer.
Producer Jay.
We will see y'all at the beginning of the 2025-2026 season. Thank you very much for another great year.
Yeah, thanks again for another awesome year. Thanks for having us. Please tune in next year. And
Yeah.
thank you to THPN
Mhm.
and Believe
Mhm.
for having us and being our hosts this year / partners,
Yeah.
ad hosts.
Yeah.
It was wonderful. Really appreciate y'all. And we're looking forward to continuing this next year.
Dang rights. Thank y'all again. See y'all in a couple months. And as always, keep your dang head up.
Keep your head up.
Boom.
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 Stick talk. Stick talk. Stick talk. Stick talk. Stick talk.